And good morning. It's the 13th of December, 2023. Very quiet overnight. I'm going to take a look at some of that. Looks like everything is streaming okay. Here. Just checking. I had a very quiet overnight, about 10 ticks total, 10 handles total range. Very light volume, 200, it was only just now crossed over 200,000 contracts, and there was a PMI number out early this morning. It's at 0730, which can be seen right here. Now we're getting some pullback. Market's open now, and we actually started just in range. There's the close. So, I've got this set up for higher out of range, but what are you going to do? I'm not going to be looking for any trades this morning, I don't believe. It's a little too light, and there's a big FOMC story today at 1 o'clock, 1300 Central Time. So, a lot of volume laying in there. This is also quad witching week. This was rollover quad witching. Real good time to watch the market and do something else, I think. So let's see how the stream plays out. Here's the IRT. We'll cut these over to regular trading session hours now. And there they go. Yeah, so not much of an overnight. There's this is yesterday's trade, I'm sorry. So there we are. We've got a naked volume point control down here at 82.75. And the MCVPOC is at 40, remains at 46, 26.75. This is the NQ. This is a market profile just from sentimental value. I started trading market profile in the early 2000s. So we're on Bookmap. There's the migrating VPOC. Can't get one up here. We've taken out this was the previous VPOC. See if we got 82.75. And this should be a naked volume point of control, which I didn't get moved. Wait a second. There should be one down the road here somewhere. Here we go. 82.75 right there. All right. Didn't get that done. Got a couple of things happening this morning. So, very light volume. We've only traded 60,000 contracts since the open. I hope everything's working okay. I think it should be. I have this still set on the application window instead of the monitor, so I think that'll get more. It doesn't muddy things up with all the apps and nonsense at the bottom of my taskbar or the top of the book map, so there's a little more real estate involved with the meat of the matter here. And I will, even though I very seriously doubt I will activate, we've got 12 ticks or 3-point stops for both contracts. This is a risk neutral setup with a one set of two contracts. You can do it in multiples of two. The first tick is, or first take profit is at 12 ticks positive, which pays for the ticket to ride on the second contract, or the runner, however you want to call it. There's a idiosyncrasy of the multi brackets. You can't set the stop for the two contracts or multiples thereof exactly at 12. So one's 12, one's at 13. I just manually move them. That's a idiosyncrasy of this particular add-on for Bookmap, but it's really handy. And I trade off a keyboard, so I just, can enter and I'm all set to go, and then use the mouse to move the stops, targets, if I think that that's appropriate. So I would go both. I would confirm that brackets are off, that the two lot has been entered, and there we go. Now the darker POC is the full session, which started at 1700 last night, and this is the volume profile for that. This is the volume profile for the current session, and it will be the lighter EPOC. Quite frequently, a good statistic to pull would be how frequently we open and then reclaim the overnight VPOC, which is here. That statistic today in the opening out of range is 75%, 79%, and it's just been taken. So there we are. Again, the PMI number came out fairly good, and there was a little bump up, but there's a big bunch of FOMC conversation at 1300 Central Standard Time today. And we'll see if I can switch around the screens and not bog everything up. This should give us the Be Right Back music, and Well, I didn't turn the mic back on after I turned down the be right back music. So now the last 20 or 30 minutes of, or I don't know, 15 minutes of talking has not been there. I'm not a very, I'm not a broadcast guy. Let's put it that way. So yeah, the overnight session ETHs, there were 7 6-tick Renko bars. I've got a very close range this morning. Uh, about 6 ticks or 6 handles here. This is the session volume profile. We've had a couple of measured moves from mid VWAP to the POC, but there's not enough meat on the bone here. That's 69 to 71, That's 2 handles. And this minimum scale for the first scale for the risk neutral setup, the way I have it worked, is 3 points. So that's not enough. Yeah, it did get down here in scale. So what? That's just not gambling, or that is more gambling than playing. As I was saying before I realized the mic was off, my intention is this is my trading business. I want to be exactly like the house or the gaming side of any casino operation. The house plays only games which they have vetted, proven to have a statistical edge, and then they play every game exactly the same rules, regardless of the outcome. The theory is in statistics, as you increase the size of the data set, the number of instances, the edge will manifest itself, and then pretty soon you get the scale of large numbers, and you can go look at the Sphere in Las Vegas or whatever the hell the latest thing they built is. I mean, it's quite obvious that casinos make very, very lucrative incomes compared to what few gamblers take a little off the table and leave. They don't change the rules, they just keep playing, and that's the secret to trading. You capture statistics and have a identified structured trade with a proven statistically, significant data set that proves an edge on that trade, and every time that setup occurs, take the trade. And you play by exactly the same rules. Same stop, same scale, same targets. That's the only way you can have a statistically significant data set, is to capture all of the exact same parameters. If you change any of them around, then it's not statistically significant anymore because there's too many variables. So that's it. That's my goal here. The purpose of the stream is a video channel. I find it immensely more intuitive or educational than trying to write stuff down and take screen snaps. I can see all of what's happening real time in front of me when I rerun the stream and hear my thoughts. That's the reason for the voiceover narration, to articulate my thinking so that I can analyze what the hell I was doing when I did it. And it's sometimes surprising. It's like, what did you do that for? Amazing sometimes. I do take screen snaps when I'm trade and when I exit, because that's part of the Journalytics trade journal, which I also have access to via Jigsaw, and I have a private old time Excel journal that that Rhythmic exports the trades to daily. It exports to that machine, and then I enter that data into the database, and I'm able to filter the trades. That's the thing I'm using to try to identify the vetted trades with a statistical edge. And hopefully now this is all working, and I'm talking to the right microphone, and Yeah, boo. Oh, well, isn't that sweet? It's all going the way it's supposed to. So we're still fluffing around here. We're getting ready to be in a position for the IB30, but I kind of doubt it. Eh, this is the high. This is the IB high and it's the IB low. That is the high and the low of the first 1 hour of regular trading session. The IB, there's a stat that says 90% of the time, either the IB high or low will be taken out by the regular trading session in the regular trading session. There's a new stat that someone has cooked up in the Traders Lab called the IB30, which says that obviously the high and the low of the first 30 minutes will be taken out in the second 30 minutes. So, and that seems to be quite consistent. Now, we'll see what we do here. Would be flabbergasted if I took a trade today. I would be thinking FOMO with this tight range. Big news coming at 1. I just don't think it's something that I would be. And I don't think it would be prudent for me to take that trade. There's the trades I'm thinking about here. What I would normally be looking at are the mid VWAP to POC or the IB30. Now the IB30 no, it can't work either because we're looking at about 98 quarter here. And, it'd have to get up in here someplace to head for this IB low to take out that 30. Very possible it'll do that, but it's been banging around up in this area for, I think it was only 200 and, I don't know, 30 something thousand contracts traded all night and about a 6 or 7 handle range. So that's a good sign to get the hell out of the market and stay there. Conserve your capital. The most important job of a trader is to protect your account, conserve your capital, and be able to trade tomorrow. And you definitely jeopardize that by whipping and spurring into the market and just slapping on trades like you're killing snakes. I perhaps am now more overly cautious. But there was a time when I, do 100 or so trades in a day. And that, I can promise you, did not work out well. You might expect a test down here to settle at the IB 30, but I don't know. Well, I'll see if I can get this mic switch story all right. I've been turning off the mic for the be right back. I just have to remember to turn it back. Okay, see if I get this right this time. There we go. I'll be closing the stream down just before the top of the hour. I've got a presentation there at 10. So we'll see how the IB30 pays out here. It looks like it's going to be okay, but there's no range here at all. Zero, zip, boom. The idea is that it will extend this, and one would suppose, given our position here and trade, given where we are trading at the moment, that it'll be the IB low that's extended, probably down around settlement. Yeah, never know. Now the full session and the RTH session VPOCs have aligned. There's a lot more at the beginning of the session, obviously. They're much more, the VPOC, the session VPOC is much more sensitive because of the small amount of volume, so it's easy to move around. And again, with both of these stats, the IB30 and the regular IB stat, nobody says when they have to happen. I mean, the IB30 has to happen between 9 and 9:30, obviously. But the IB stat, the original IB stat, which says that the IB high or low will be taken out within the regular trading session, that means could be 1 minute before the close, could be at 9:30:01, you know. It doesn't, there's no parameter on that. And it's a statistic. So there is a, portion of that statistic where it does not happen. Maybe 5% or whatever it is, but I could look, I guess. In this opening context, higher out of range, the IB high or low is taken out 95.2% of the time. And that's pretty close to what it is in all of the other three. Here, I can show this, I guess. This is a stats study. Ooh. This is the stats study. So this is the higher out of range. There it is. Higher low is 97.3 over here. Higher low is 98 over here. Higher low is 98 over here. 98. So almost in almost any open condition, these conditions are they only have one variable, and that's the opening type. Higher in range, higher out of range. I'm sorry, higher in range, lower in range, lower out of range. That's the only variable. That's the way these statistics can be significant. So there you are. That's where these stats over here come from every day. I determine where we're going to open and I enter these manually so I have a feel for where they are. And we're going to take it. There we go. So that IB low was extended. The IB30 stat is met, and we came right down to kiss the settlements as expected. Was that a viable trade location? Yeah, if you want to say you got on at 47 and were, spot on with your entry, you would have had 3 points. So it's not even remotely close. For my taste, that's not nearly enough range or meat on the bone to be trading. but the stat, has been satisfied. Now, the next stat, this can continue also. This can continue to go, but it may be extended more than once or 10 times in the next 30 minutes. After the next 30 minutes, at the bottom of the hour, the IB stat is set, and then it happens again. Then you have the opportunity for that to happen one more time. Kind of boring trading, and whipping and spurring here, flashing orders around is a lot more exciting to watch and to do. But that is not what trading is about. That's a video game. That's gambling. Trading is to anticipate the structured trade with the measured parameters and requirements for that trade, and then execute. In this case, I didn't have that. And one of the factors of risk neutral trade, the risk neutral trade, is the scale has got to be at ahead of the obstacle, or in this case, risk neutral. Mean reversion trade would be, this is the mean, right? So mean reversion is like this. If you're gonna enter a trade up here and there's not enough room to scale, there's not 3 points, and where's your target? So that for that reason, no trade here. And I'm sure people are trading all over the place. But not me. This is kind of interesting. Let me see if this is correct. Looks like we're just teasing. Yes, we are just teasing this 4706 MCVPOC from some damn where way back over here. Yeah, so I just typed that note, into the traders lab that we were toying around with this VPOC here, whether that's, who knows whether that means anything or not, but those levels do tend to be tested. So there you are. And I'll put that. Oh, I hate that damn noise. And I'll put that over here. just for the hell of it. There's a previous VPOC, and the way I do that is I change the text to black, so I know it's not the current one. There we go. I suppose if I wanted to get real anal about it, I could put the date or some god darn thing up there. I don't know. That's not that important. These levels and all of these things that I put over here are just reference points, right? To jog my memory, make me remember where we are, what we did, and look for any high volume nodes. This stuff is pushed directly from my IRT. These levels are pushed from IRT. These are the statistics which I just was showing in IRT, but I enter them manually against the levels. Like 79.9% that the overnight volume point of control would be touched. And it was. So there you go. And this one probably moved up, and I didn't get it moved. But there you are. These things change right up until the open, of course. Yeah. Hopefully I'm not making a lot of background racket with this mic. This is in the wrong place. This is supposed to be 6.5. Supposed to be there. Oops. Yeah, I see a lot of guys desperately trying to trade. That's the more I feel that, the more I feel that compulsion to trade is in my opinion FOMO, and the more resistant I become to trading, which is probably not a good thing actually. But I do try to anticipate and look for a structured trade that meets the criteria. Now, this little pop up here to overnight VPOC or close to it, what are you going to do with that? You know, boop. Oh, and then what? That's just the point or the level. You need to have a retest and a target trigger, and I don't see any of that. So, yeah, this is, I'm sure, going to be just a cruise, a snooze cruise to that 1300. Then probably all hell will break loose, but we'll see. I don't believe I will keep the stream on for that long. Perhaps shut it off and then restream ahead of that. Seems like kind of a waste of time to just sit here and watch the market bop back and forth in a 6-7 point range, I guess. And listen to me make up things to say. So I will be shutting this off just ahead of the top of the hour, and then I might reopen the stream, likely ahead of the 1 o'clock FOMC stuff, which is I guess I could probably better off to show that on the stream here, I suppose. Oh, I can't do that. Yes, I can. I'm not used to this window thing here, but I'm going to see if I can set this up properly. And then put this over here where it will show. Get rid of that. Now, this should be investing.com, which is what I use for numbers. Here was that PMI number, came in flat. No big surprise, but here are these FOMC numbers, the projections, the statement, interest rate decision, that's flipping huge. And the press conference. So this stuff is all big, big market movers. These 3 stars are as far as they go. But this is probably, in this day and age anyway, economic environment, these are probably the most important. Now I'm hoping, yeah, okay, there we go. Hoping that, that it was working right. And I believe that it is. Investing.com, free. Yeah, it's got ads and crap, but you can set up for your time zone. You can set up filters for your area or what trade you're interested in. It also has it also has the earnings calendar and a bunch of other stuff. Been looking at it for a long time. Okay. Well, we extended the IB30 to the low of the day, 97.5. So we've got basically 6 points or 6.5 points, 7 points on the entire morning thus far. It hasn't been an hour yet, but still. We've traded about 477,000 contracts so far. We're testing the top on this, getting up towards the top. This is the IB high, of course. Whoops. This is the IB high here. We're testing up to that now. So we're going to extend that one also. Let's see that IB30 stats kind of, yeah, that's reasonably just cooked up. You see that we're just testing up to this one. This was extended here. You can see how it bobs down. This one was set up at the basically off the open, and now we're coming up to look at it. Okay. I hope we're on the right screen. Looks like we are. And we've just now set the IB30 high. Well, we're actually getting up to an area where there is some range. If it becomes a mean reversion setup, where we would revert back to the mean. But it looks to me like, and as I pointed out to myself, the last few minutes in this stream, the context of the market for the last who knows how many days is up. So, and basically we're rotational here. Yesterday was pretty much all up. So, and of course, the minute I say that, it breaks lower by only 2 points. And now we're in the same predicament where we don't have enough. The first obstacle would be mid VWAP. So that's only 2 points. Even if you're looking at the mean reversion from here down to the mean, which is the POC. The POC is just the point where the most number of contracts have traded, 21, and that's, there's no magical mystery to figuring out when it's going to shift next. All you do is look at the numbers. It's real simple. People try to make hocus pocus out of all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, it's nice not to have any earlier meetings and just be able to focus and watch the market unfold. Think about all the retail guys that are just getting chopped up. Seven to 7 is 10 minus 1, 2, 3. 7 points. Wow. Did extend the IB high. I hope I'm on the right screen here. Boop. Did extend the IB high. up here. It just snuck in behind, under this. If I can get that. One thing about this, it doesn't, you can't quite see it. When there's one over top of the other, you can't see what they are. But it's, trust me, it's right back here. And there it is. So the IB high was extended as 47.4 half. It's right under here somewhere. That will also be the high of the retail trading session so far. Interesting that the full session VWAP is moving up, migrating higher, but you see the difference in this, the way they work. This one's 21,000. In order to get this to migrate up here, it's only 8,000. It's got to go up 12,000. 12,000 contracts to get to 4703. So that migration is highly unlikely anytime soon on the current session VPOC, which is VPOC, point of control, volume point of control. In other words, where the most volume traded. As Tom, Retail Lab Tom B calls it retail. That's retail. That's where the most trading happened. Yeah, in my opinion, it's retail soup. That's my analysis of these kinds of days. Less than about 7 points total range. Definitely balanced or chopped. And retail traders just can't stand not hitting into it. So that's outgoes and high time frame people are just making a killing now, just taking money or picking the retail pockets. I think that's my opinion, and I choose not to be one of those guys. I'm definitely a retail trader, but I choose to think like, as Tom, one of Tom's good Tomisms, think like a retail trader, don't act like one. Good advice. That MCVPOC is still lurking up there at fix half. There would, I mean, I don't know. I have a hard time believing that there would be fuel up there, and I'll show you why. The concept of fuel and stops is that, for example, one would imagine that there's a bunch of stops above the IB high here, right? This big consolidation here, there were stops up here. That's true. Tested back and away it went yesterday. This is what I'm talking about with the, this is a micro composite from July 13th. Okay. So this micro composite, this is the VPOC from this micro composite. All right. And we're testing up to that. How many of these traders, not very many here at all, only on this big down day and up here, how many of these guys do you suppose are still in the market after this and this and this and back up to this? And it went, we had that. You know, how many of these people are still in there? How many of these shorts would still be in the market that would add fuel to this and bust to the top side? I don't know. In my opinion, not many, because In my opinion, the highest percentage of traders in the futures market are day traders and retail. Maybe not retail, but day traders for sure. Are they holding overnight? Are they holding big size overnight since July? And we had a rollover, so I don't know. I don't understand all the nuances of that stuff. And I try not to cloud my brain with it, with just pay attention to the day. I never hold overnight. Now the IB set right here at 9:30. So the IB high stat is now taken out. Now what? And they're looking at that VPOC, perhaps. There's the overnight or the regular trading hours high. You see, we took out these liquidities and there's nothing there. There's no volume. There's no stop run. There's no pop, nothing. Interesting. We'll see what happens if it gets to that MVPOC. Refill the water jug here. See if I can get this all right now. Okay. There we go. So here we are flapping around the highs, huh? Getting pretty close to that MVPOC from July 13th, or the July, that MC started around July 13th. I don't know how you denote that. The volatility today, that FOMC minutes, interest rate decision, all that stuff, that's going to be a market mover, my guess. I'd say they're going after the MCVPOC here, or at least they're going for higher ground. Now, this is a viable statistic, and it's on the upside of the trade. This might be an interesting time to take a long off the current high if it pulls back to the if it pulls back there. This might be a very valid high, long trade. See if we get a IB high bounce towards that overnight high. No, I'm not gonna. It is a viable idea, but I would want to see it come back at least to this overnight POC. Perhaps this was the test right here, a good one. Targeting that overnight high. But again, I think under the circumstances in the trade, that I'm not going to do that. It might be a time to slap on a Trader X thing here and see what happens. Let's Trader X. Okay, I don't know what this thing even is doing here. So where's 8:30? Okay. Indicators, fixed range. 8:30. Doesn't. Yeah, I guess that's about right. Now let's just throw a couple on there and see what happens. Pull back a little bit now. There we go. I'll put a couple on. Positions, notes to make. Okay, where is that? It's 5 to 9. That's only 4 points. That's not very much. 4 points, let's say 600 now. Let's say, does that go in there? You can't put a target on without a risk. That's just goofy. Let's put 600 down there. Now I should see both, but I don't. There we go. So now, why won't it go down? So that's about 9. Oh, that's right. Okay, so it's the high of the day. So that's overnight high. Okay. The POC. I would say that they're probably going to stretch for this overnight high. And I think I'm just in the wrong spot for it. Okay. Everything's okay there. Be right back. Music's there. Mic is off here. My wife is calling and I smell breakfast. Okay, so came right up to and just touched that overnight higher, awfully close to it. Boy, that was a quick breakfast. I hate that. I'm going to wind the stream down here in a couple of minutes, I believe. I don't know, maybe I'll just let it run and put the background music on in case I see something interesting. That would have been a time I would have gone for that is a trade of mine. That would have been that VPOC up to, or that MC VPOC up to the overnight high, which is a definite stat. We'll see how that goes. And where am I now? What am I doing now? Who's on third? I don't know. I don't know. I should probably get taken out. I don't know how to set it. This X trader thing exactly at break even. I don't know how to do that. But anyway, we'll see if we get up there. If we don't, it was in the money pretty substantially while I was having breakfast. And now it's pulling back a little bit. And I moved the stop to I can't show that on the stream. It's I was just trying out the TopStep Trader X Trader. They sent me a link and asked me to try it. So I can't use this kind of no brackets, or can't do risk neutral trading or any of that stuff. So not really that interested, but it's kind of fun. Look out. So here we go now. Boom. Group. Okay. Oh, I'm going to have to change my headset out, and I think that's going to make a mess of everything. I believe that when I unplug my headset, I'm going to lose audio, but maybe not. I'll see what happens now. I'll kill the mic. I'm going to kill the stream here. Here, I've got to leave unexpectedly. I'm not going to take any trades. There may be some action at the 1 o'clock when the FOMC starts talking. Should be back by then, and if so, I'll start a new stream. Otherwise, have a great day. See you tomorrow.